So I want to talk about how to deal with politics in academia. So if you don't know me, I am Professor Dave Maslach. I'm an associate professor of innovation strategy and entrepreneurship, and I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. There's so many people that help me out that I wanted to pay the favor forward to help you out as much as I possibly can. So politics is an inevitable thing that happens in academic jobs. It's an inevitable thing that happens in all organizations, particularly as they get larger, because there's more people that are vying for the attention or vying for scarce resources that are allocated within the organization. Now, how do we make these decisions within an organization? One way that you could sort of view that people make decisions is sort of through a financial lens, that everything is all calculated and all that kind of stuff, but most of the time it's not. It's a political process, and the reason is it's hard to make these calculations. When you have ambiguous information about how things actually work and what's the outcome that's going to happen, you're going to have to make political decisions, and everything is a political decision within academia. Everything in most worlds is a political decision. And we have to navigate this, right, as what is called boundedly rational human beings. We don't have complete information, so we have to figure out, how do we actually make a decision here? And so politics plays a really big role in most organizations, and it plays a really big role in academia and how things turn out, right? The reason why you get access to this resource versus that one is because of some political decision that was made. And whether it is a political decision that's being made by your department chair or dean or president of the university, all of those are all political decisions. And it's about convincing other people that this thing is actually important to invest in. And that thing could be any asset. It could be yourself. It could be somebody, some other resource, like a lab, for example. It could be all sorts of different things. And so you have to figure out how to navigate this. So personally, I am not a political scientist, but I have read a little bit in the terms of organizational decision making, in terms of how to deal with this. And I'm not very easy. I don't understand politics that well. I'm going to just tell you that. I am not that kind of person that gets that very well, but I know that there is a lot of political things that happen. One trick to navigate this and to deal with the politics of everything, right? So maybe somebody, maybe somebody maybe it's a chair that's giving you a hard time, or your dean is giving you a hard time, or whatever, right? Like, all of these things are very real. They happen all the time, and you have to figure out how to deal with this. Well, I think from my perspective is figuring out how to build your coalition. It's called coalition building. And this coalition building, by the way, this is all based on what's called a behavioral view of the firm. And that people have studied this for years, and I'm a big believer in the sort of political decision making that actually happens in organizations, by the way. So what you have to do is build a coalition, right? So what is a coalition? It's building your community. That's it, right? So if it's you against many different people, not much is going to happen, right? But if it's you and you have some other people that are helping you, that are part of a larger view, right? They sort of get what you're about and they can vie for you. So there's things, when you do coalition building, then you got to think about, well, how do I find people that I can trust, and look for people that are legitimate and have significant status. There's all sorts of things like that. And then that's where you look for people. This is where it's important to look for quality people that you like to hang out with, and that people are, nice and decent, because you're going to quickly realize there's all this strategizing that's happening where people are doing this and doing that for reasons that that they want to get ahead, right? All of this strategizing is very real. And what you need to think about is take a step back and say, hey, do I want to play that game? And if you want to play that game, then that's great, right? Like, that's your thing. If you want to do all of the strategizing and all of that stuff. But, if you don't want to play that game, and you're probably watching this video right now because you don't want to play that game, or something bad has happened, for example, and you're trying to navigate this, then you have to think about, who do I want to hang out with? And, who's a good person? And then that's where you go talk to those people that are good people, that preferably have significant status within your organization, and ask them how to do things, right? Like, ask them what is going on. And it's almost like you need mentorship at that point, where you're thinking about these particular things. Now, what's going to ebb and flow, as political decisions do and political organizations do, is sometimes they don't, like, they go one way that you're like, I can't believe they're doing this. It's nuts. And then they sometimes will go back another way. But however, you got to sort of use judgment with all of that kind of stuff, right? Like, there's a lot of subtle, subjective judgments that you're going to have to do to navigate some of these issues that are really, really challenging, where you're thinking of, hey, you know what, this is not getting any better. Maybe it's after 6 months or a year, or, a couple of years of doing this. Now, I'm saying years because you have to, give some chance. And then if it's not working out over several years, for example, then you might want to consider switching to a different organization and seeing if you can find a community. And that's where the community building outside of your organization is important. Remember, those are the two really important things. And I would argue that community building outside of your organization is more important than inside of your organization, but they're both important, right? Of your university, they're both important, but you need to use that community that you have built to vie for yourself and vie for, the greater community. And if you're a decent human being that's not kind of doing really not great things, you're a decent human being that's doing great things, and you're not kind of like doing snaky kind of stuff, then people will recognize that from the outside community, and they really will hopefully honor you by helping you out in various different ways. And that's really what it is. And another way that you can say political decision making is you're looking at ways that you can hang out with people that you actually like, and that's it. That you can trust and you could be around. That's another view of it, right? That you're really just thinking about, can I trust these people? Are these people that I really like to be around? And as you're doing that, you're going to navigate towards different things. So first of all, if you're going through these experiences, man, it's tough. It's really hard to go through a lot of the sort of sketchy political stuff that happens. But at the same time, know that if you build your community, both inside and outside of the university, of your organization, then hopefully you can navigate some of these things in the long run. That's the important thing, is thinking about the long run, where you're building these communities. All right, take care. And hopefully this answers your question or helps you out in some sort of way. Take care and have a wonderful day. Bye. Oh, by the way, if you get benefit from this, make sure that you go onto the Reciprocity platform. I would appreciate it. All right, take care.